Hey YouTube, Lord Kuma here. You know what day it is, don't you? It's the day we've all been waiting for 18 months. Almost exactly. It's Belmont Stakes Day. The world record performance. Secretariat's bid to be the first Triple Crown winner since 1948. A 25-year span. And we're going to watch it and we're going to react to it. Coming right up. Hello YouTube, Lord Kuma here. It's Belmont Day. People have asked about it. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. If you watched my channel update, you'll know why I didn't do it. I didn't have any teeth. I didn't have any teeth. But we're here now. So what do we say about the 1973 Belmont Stakes? Well, aside from the fact that it's a world record-setting performance, a track record-setting performance, a race record-setting performance, largest margin of victory, fastest mile and a half ever run, not much. A couple of things to look at in this race is, number one, Secretariat's number for this race is number 2. The reason for that is because he was supposed to be in the second stall, the second position in the starting gate. And they said on the broadcast that he was number 2, but he was going into the number 1 stall. That wasn't correct. As far as I can tell, there is no horse in the first stall at all. They bypassed the first stall and put him in number 2. That did 2 things for him. Number 1, it gave him plenty of room to his left, so that when he broke out of the gate, he didn't feel squeezed. And not only was there nobody to his left, there wasn't a rail on his left either. There was nothing there. There was an empty spot, so it gave him plenty of room to run. And he broke well. Bill Nack referred to him as being really keyed up for the race. He said when he was walking in the paddock, before they went out on the track, he said he looked like the executioner getting ready to go to dispatch somebody. He was very serious looking, very all business kind of look to him. I think he, in some way, knew that this was special. This was going to be special. It was one of those days. It was just a magical day. He was all keyed up. He was ready to go. It was race day. The second thing he had going for him is that there was only 5 horses in this field. One of the reasons why this field was so small is because nobody wanted to run against him. Nobody liked their chances. The only horse that liked their chances against him was Sham. Hell, the horse that came in third didn't run into Belmont. Our Native. Our Native didn't run in this race. He's like, well, I came in third to those 2 horses twice in a row. I'm not going to run myself a mile and a half and make myself look bad. It was basically, everybody kind of figured it was going to be a two-man race, 2-horse race. And that's what it ended up being. It came down to Sham and it came down to Secretariat. But that day, at the Belmont Stakes, there was not a single horse, alive or dead, that could have beat him. They could have hung with him. Anyway, without further ado, and yes, I said that just for that one commenter on the one video last time. Without further ado, let's check out the race. I'm going to get into my split screen here. I'll be right back. Alright folks, here we go. 1973 Belmont Stakes. You'll see he'll break out fast. Sham breaks out fast. They kind of meet in the middle and they go around the first bend together, and it's just a 2-man race from there on. They start pulling away from everybody. And everybody in the stands was saying, oh my God, they're going too fast. That was the consensus. Everybody said they were going too fast. They're going to burn out the horse. They're going to hurt the horse. And Secretary said, hold my beer, basically. We'll probably pause it a few times so I can point some stuff out that I noticed. So here we go, 1973 Belmont Stakes.
Ready to go for this tremendous Belmont Stakes. Everybody's in line, and they're off.
They're off.
Looks like the early lead goes to My Gallant. Yes, My Gallant going for the lead with Twice the Prince on the outside. Secretariat away very well, has good position on the rail, and in fact is now going up with the leader. They're moving for the first turn. It is Secretariat. Sham on the outside is also moving along strongly.
Right here,
and now
right there.
Sham.
They pass everybody, and
right
there they
together
are.
Into the first turn. My
Secretariat's got
Gallant
ahead
has
in
third
front.
behind them. Then it's Twice the Prince, and the trailer is Private Smiles as they
Sham
go
starts
by
pushing.
the turn. Those two together, Sham on the outside. Sham getting ahead in front as they move around the turn with Secretariat second. Then there's a large gap. Make it 8 lengths.
By the way, this is one of the best race calls I have ever heard. And you'll see what I'm talking about when Secretariat's coming around the last bend. The call of, and he is moving like a tremendous machine, gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. Every time. So you see, you got Sham here. He's got about a half a horse lead on Secretariat, maybe a neck if once they extend their heads out. Now, try to pay attention as they're going here when they zoom in here on which foot Secretariat has out as his lead foot. Naturally, Secretariat was a left footer. He was what they call a goofy footer, or he was a left lead. See, he would put that left leg out and pull the dirt around it, which allowed him to lean into those turns. Right here, I believe he has his right leg out leading around this first turn as they could do the close-up here. So I want to back this up a couple seconds and see if we can see what leg is leading. I don't know if the quality is going to be good enough for us to see it or not, but we'll look.
Ahead in front as they move around the turn with Secretariat second. Then there's a large gap. Make it 8 lengths back to My Gallant in third and Twice the Prince fourth. And Private Smiles is still the trailer.
Couldn't really see it there.
They're on the backstretch. It's almost a match race.
Okay, so you can see it's his right leg. It's out in front because his left leg. He's already got his foot on the ground pulling through, and his left leg is coming in behind. Now, in the middle of this turn, when he starts pulling away, he does a lead change, mid-stride. He goes from right leg forward to left leg forward. And there's just a little hitch in his giddy-up where he makes the change. And that's when he starts pulling away from Sham for real. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Almost a match race now. Secretariat's on the inside, by ahead. Sham is on the outside. They've opened 10 lengths on My Gallant, who is third by ahead.
Right there.
With Twice the Prince fourth. Then it's another 8 lengths. They've opened
further back.
Secretariat. They're
Right
on the backstretch.
there.
It's almost a match
Saw
race.
how check this
Still
out.
the trailer.
That's hot. You see a dark leg coming out forward, and then all of a sudden a white leg coming out forward. That's where the switch happens.
They're on the backstretch. It's almost a match race now. Secretariat's on the inside, by ahead. Sham is on the outside.
So anyway, there's a lead change there.
On My
He's
Gallant, who is third by ahead, with Twice the Prince fourth.
right there.
Then it's another 8 lengths back to Private Smiles, who is trailing
it's hard to
the field.
pick up, especially
They
on this
continue
footage.
down
There's
the
a lead
backstretch.
change that
That's
happens.
Secretariat now taking the lead. He's
Starts
got it
pulling
by
away on
about
that
a
lead
length and a
change.
half.
He's set to hit
Still
another gear.
Sham, 10 lengths back. My Gallant, Twice the Prince.
He's on his
They're
left
moving
lead
on
now,
the
and he's
turn
just going.
For the turn at Secretariat. It looks like he's
I'm going to
opening.
turn this up so you
The
can hear
lead
the
is
call.
increasing. Make it 3 and a half. He's moving into the turn. Secretariat holding on to a large lead. Sham is second, and then it's a long way back to My Gallant and Twice the Prince. They're on the turn.
And Sham is like,
blazing along.
yes, I
The
can't
first
catch
3/4 of a mile in 109 and 4/5. Secretariat is brightening now. He is moving like a tremendous machine. Secretariat by 12. Secretariat by 14 lengths on the turn. Sham is dropping back. It looks like they'll catch him today. As My Gallant and Twice the Prince are
He's
both
widening.
up to him
Sham's
now.
dropping back. The rest of the
Secretariat
horses
is all
are
alone. He's out there almost a 1/6 of a mile away from the rest of the horses.
Now, right
Secretariat
about
is in a position that this is happening.
there. me back that up just a frame or two. Right as he's coming around, right there. You see him? You see how he's kind of like a little L shape right there? That's him turning around and looking to see how far ahead he was. And Ronnie Turcotte said, I looked back. I couldn't help myself. I looked back. He's like, I scared the hell out of myself. I almost fell off the horse. I didn't realize I was that far ahead. And in the movie, they have it's either Lucian Lauren or Penny that goes in there, just don't fall off. Don't fall off the horse.
He's into the stretch. Secretariat leads his field by 18 lengths.
He looks up and it's like, okay, we got this thing. Let's finish strong. Let's see if we can start finishing.
They're in the stretch. Secretariat has opened a 22-length lead. He is going to be the Triple Crown winner. Here comes Secretariat to the wire.
That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. An amazing performance. He hits the finish 25 lengths in front. It's going to be Tyson for second. Mike Allen third. Private Miles fourth. And Jam, who had it today, dropped back to fifth. An amazing, unbelievable performance.
The guy in the sunglasses right there was her husband. Her and her husband were basically at this point estranged. She was out on the road all the time, giving interviews, doing this and that and the other. He didn't like it. It was unusual in the horse industry for a woman to be in the lead. There's a good little documentary called Penny in Red about Penny Chenery and how her leading that team for Secretariat really made that whole team go. Secretariat was the talent, but she was really the driving force that made all of that kind of work. And one of the reasons why he became so popular, why he was known as the Super Horse, aside from his on-track acumen. A lot of that was marketing, and there hadn't been that kind of marketing before for a horse. He was really the first big name, super famous racehorse. Television had something to do with that. The mass media, there hadn't been a horse like this before in the age of mass media. He kind of set the bar. It was like an unprecedented thing where this horse comes along and he captivates the nation. He's the first horse that ever did that. And it was just the perfect horse at the perfect time with the perfect owner and the perfect team around him. And that's what I think one of the things that made Secretariat so popular. Let's finish this up, and we'll hear them talk about the record time.
By this miracle horse, and look at Mrs. Sweetie. Time of her life. She and Lisa Lauren, the world's most magnificent animal, who has today run the most sensational Belmont Stakes in the history of this race. Secretariat has accomplished the unbelievable task of breaking the 1.5 mile record by 2 3/5 seconds. That is a
say that again.
1.5 mile record by 2 3/5 seconds.
That is unheard of. That has never happened before, and I don't think it's ever happened since. He broke that track record and that race record by almost 3 seconds. Basically 2.5 seconds. 2 3/5 seconds is an eternity. Now, remember from previous videos, I said 1/5 of a second. The reason they measure it in fifths of a second instead of tenths of a second. They measure in tenths now. But the reason they measured in fifths to begin with is because the 1/5 of a second was the length of a horse. So if you break that down, he beat the old track record, the old race record, the old Belmont record by 13/5. So 13 lengths. Excuse me. He beat the old record by 13 lengths. Ouch. He still holds this record. He holds the record for all the Triple Crown races. He'll never lose this record. There will never be a horse that runs that faster than 224. 224 is going to be the gold standard to the end of time because nobody will let their horse run. Nobody will just It's not because the horses can't do it. They won't let them do it. Ronnie let them do it. No other jockey out there, or no other owner out there is going to let their horse do that. They could kill them. Listen to what he says about this record. I'm going to back this up a second. Or 3.
A mile-and-a-half record by 2 3/5 seconds. That is a record that may stand forever. The time of this race, 2:24. Almost.
See the split times? That time, 1:59 flat. That's the mile and a quarter. It's a mile and a half race. They measure in the quarter. They clock out on the quarter miles. That's a mile and a quarter. 1:59 flat is 2/5 of a second faster than he ran the Kentucky Derby. Think about that. He ran this race. He ran the mile and a quarter faster than he ran the Kentucky Derby, and he ran the Kentucky Derby faster than anybody had ever run the Kentucky Derby, and he ran the Kentucky Derby every quarter mile faster than the quarter mile before it. So what he did on this day, what he did at the Kentucky Derby was extraordinary. What he did at the Belmont was superhuman, or super equine. Super equine. There's a reason why this hat, I don't know if you can see it, it has the S for Superman. It's Superman's symbol. Because he was America's super horse. That was the title of the cover of one of the magazines he was on. America's super horse. He was the super horse. That's why. That time, right there, 2:24 and 1:59 flat at the 1 mile and a quarter, are why he is the super horse. You will never see this again. Not even close. American Pharoah was a great champion. Justified was a great champion. Affirmed, Seattle Slew, great champions, great Triple Crown winners. I think they were legitimate champions. And speaking of Affirmed, if you've never seen the Triple Crown races between Affirmed and Aladar, go check them out. And if you'd like me to do a reaction to them and a review on them, to kind of show them to you and do a little research on them, I'd be happy to do that. Leave me a comment down below. But let's talk about this. Let me get out of this split screen here. I think we've seen enough of the video. All they're going to do is replay the finish on the broadcast, but we've seen what we needed to see. This is the shot that really says it all right here. The 1:59 and 2:24. All right, let me get out of this and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, if you'd like me to review some other famous races, other Triple Crown winners, I'd be more than happy to. I'm a fan of Seattle Slew. In fact, I don't know if you know this. Some people don't. Some people do. Depends on if you're into horse racing or not. But Seattle Slew was actually one of the offspring. He was related. He was a grandson of Secretariat. He was related on his dam side, I think. He came out of a Secretariat broodmare. Secretariat was a 1 in a million, 1 in a 10 billion, 1 in a trillion. I don't know what the odds are on him ever coming around again, but it's not high. So, but if you want me to do some more Triple Crown winners, Triple Crown races, specific horses, put them down in the comment section, and I'll see what I can do about them. I'll start making a list, and we can go about doing that. I have no problem doing that. I like horse racing. I've always been interested in horses. Hopefully sometime in the near future we'll be able to have horses again. Maybe I might even shoot some videos on horseback or shoot some videos of the horses and put them on here. Never know. So anyway, any other suggestions for content, leave them in the comments. I'll see what I can do. I try to answer everybody, or at least acknowledge everybody that comments on my videos. Try to give them a like and a heart if I can, if I see them. I'd like this to be an interactive channel, so anybody that interacts, with me, I try to interact back with them. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video, and we'll see where it goes from here. Until next time, guys, have a good evening, and stay cool.